derivatives of inverse trigonometric functions. How do we differentiate arcsine of 2x plus 1? Well, if you see a function inside of another function, what rule should you use? You should use chain rule. Okay. And how do we use chain rule? We're going to call the outside function f and the inside function g. So let's go ahead and do that. What does this equation become? So we've got y equals, outside function is f. I'm going to call this u, but we'll talk more about it in a second. Okay, so f of u, and f was what again? Arcsine. So f of u is the same as arcsine of u. Okay. And what was u again? U was this. We also said that we would call the inside function what? So we called the outside function f. We call the inside function g. Okay, so g of x is equal to 2x plus 1. Now, if I go to this equation and I were to change all the u's to g of x, what would I get? I would get f of, so this gets changed to g of x, is equal to arcsine of so u gets changed to g of x, right? Because we said we were gonna go to this equation, change all the u's to g of x. So this gets changed to g of x. This also gets changed to g of x, which is the same thing as this, 2x plus 1. So this is the same thing as y. Okay, so we let f be the outside function, we let g be the inside function, then y would be f of g of x, right? Y, so this is going to be f of g of x. Okay, now how do we apply the chain rule to differentiate? To find y prime? Well, what's the formula for chain rule again? It's going to be f prime of g of x times g prime of x. Okay, so we need to figure out what f prime and g prime are before we can plug them into this formula. Let's go ahead and do that. So to figure out f prime, we're going to look at f So if f of u is equal to arc sine of u, what would f prime of u be equal to? What's the derivative of arc sine? 1 over square root of 1 minus u squared. Okay. And we also need to figure out what g prime of x is. Okay, so g of x is equal to 2x plus 1. How do we find g prime of x? Well, what's the derivative of 2x? 2 plus the derivative of 1. So 2 plus 0 is 2. Is 2. Okay. And now that we know f prime and g prime, we're ready to plug them into this formula. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, y prime is equal to f prime. So 1 over square root of 1 minus u squared. And u was what again? 2x plus 1. So u squared would be 2x plus 1 squared. Okay. And then it's going to be times g prime of x. So how much are we multiplying by? We need to multiply by 2. Okay. Now, how do we simplify this expression? So we've got 1 over square root of 1 minus 2x plus 1 squared times 2. Well, let's simplify what's underneath the radical first. Okay. So how should we simplify this? What is this equal to? What's 2x plus 1 squared? Yeah, so whatever I write on here, you don't have to copy when showing your work. When showing your work here. I'm just going to use it to elaborate. Use this sheet of paper to elaborate on certain things. But yeah, 2x plus 1 squared is the same as 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1, and we can FOIL. So this times this is, well, 2 times 2 is 4, x times x is x squared, 2x times 1, that's just 2x, 1 times 2x, and then 1 times 1. All right, and I can combine this. So that's what 2x plus 1 squared is equal to. Let's go ahead and change it to that. Okay, yeah, is equal to 1 over square root of 1 minus 4x squared plus 4x plus 1 times 2. Okay. Now how do I simplify this? How do I get rid of the parentheses? So it's 1 minus 4x squared plus 4x plus 1 To get rid of the parentheses, it's going to be 1 minus 4x squared. And then negative and positive make a negative sign. And then copy the 4x. Negative and positive sign make a negative. And copy the 1. What does this simplify as? It's equal to, well, 1 minus 1 is 0. So you just cross these out. And we have negative 4x squared minus 4x. Okay, cool. So this fraction is going to be equal to 2 over square root of negative 4x squared minus 4x. Okay, now can we simplify this fraction? Actually, we can. So we're going to be a little bit clever here. And we are going to factor out a 4. Why am I doing this? Okay, so if I were to do that, what would this turn into? It'd be 2 over square root of 4 times negative x squared minus x. Okay. And since this is multiplication 4 times this, I can break it up. I can break up the square root like this. And what's the square root of 4? 2. Okay, so there's actually something that we could cancel here. So we found out that we can cancel out the 2's. And this turns into 1 over square root of negative x squared minus x. All right. Let's go ahead and write that down. So y prime is equal to 1 over square root of negative x squared minus x. This is your answer.